Hey everyone, I'm David Room. Just gonna work a little bit on some game UI stuff today. I've been working on a new mode in my game, which is a simulator mode for kind of the instant action type gameplay. And I've been cranking on the UI for the past few days and kind of rebuilding some different UI stuff, thinking ahead to some other UI stuff that I'm gonna have to add. And finally got to a point where I'm ready to start sharing it on stream. And I had an hour here, been busy with the new baby, so haven't had a ton of time, but we're gonna just get right into it. And I'm hoping that either later tonight or probably more likely tomorrow, we'll get back into some 3D modeling stuff. I've got kind of a sore point that I want to fix. But for now, we're just gonna jump right into this UI stuff. Let me comment this stuff here out and I'll show you what we're building. So there is a new menu that I'm building here, and the background doesn't really matter, I'm just showing it in the main hangar view, but we have the ability to select a faction and a set of ships for that faction, for two different factions, and then we have an engagement zone and a size. So the engagement zone will be like kind of like the background and maybe a large station, or different ships or an asteroid field or something like that. And the idea here is just to make it easy to test things. I'm still kind of building out missions, and I want just kind of a nice instant action mode. Also, this might be worked towards a demo that I could actually release and other people could play, because it's sort of maybe like a restricted subset of the game that won't take a lot of content creation or plot stuff to implement. So where we're at with it here is I can select the different UI elements with the back and forth arrow keys, and then I can, when I hit enter, a modal comes up, and I'll probably have this pop up in the middle, maybe with some kind of background element, and we can select, well, we should be able to select things in there, but that's not quite implemented yet. And then we'll want to be able to back out of it. That's also broken right now, but basically we have these widgets. We want to be able to pop up widgets, select things, go into a state, etc. So that's kind of what we're building out here. And I think let's take a look at this. So we actually want to get rid of this. So basically the way the controls are handled in the game is there's just a general function that's called once every game loop called handle controls that reads controls out of a dictionary, and depending on the game mode and other stuff that is set, it just goes through this basically giant if else ladder and chooses different things. And I have sub functions for handling the controls for different game modes. So here's the simulator control, and this general generic widget handling basically handles like moving between the different widgets. Now, actually, thinking about this, I think I am going to have to revise this. So I think I actually do want to bring this logic back here. So this is basically saying we're going to be like switching between these different widgets. if we're not in the mode where one of those modal selection lists is up. What we do want to do though is we still want to call this event handler even if the mode is up. So I think what we want to do is we want to say handle event. Yeah, this seems right. So we still want to do this game, and then we want, let's see, the widget is going to be sim dot let's see, have node to modal. I went through today and I replaced a bunch of logic with dictionaries, so I'm still kind of figuring out exactly how I want to handle this. So we need the widget name, and I think we can assume that named mode. To modal. Let's see, here it is. Mode to modal. The actual widgets, but I want the name here. Actually, I think I already know this because widget updating. So I think we can just call this with sim.widget updating, and this is just going to be selection list, and we can pass so we can say right here, if control states control dot, and this will fix here too. Actually, I can actually make this a loop. So So this is, and I think, yep. Oops. Control.name. Oh, I need to break here if control is none. Is that it? Yeah, okay, that seems to be working like I would expect now. So now we just need to write the handling logic in here. So we've got to handle so I'm gonna actually break this out into a separate function here. So we want to scroll selection list and control here. So if control equals control.up, control equals control.down. So we can just call this here. And instead of cell, it's going to be our widget. If so if it's up, we'll go to the previous element. If it's the control is down, we'll go to the next element, and then either way we need to redraw. And then I think just so we can handle this, clear these controls here. And yeah, we're not really clearing the state here, but I think we can do this here. We can do that here. Actually, let's just make this an else. There we go. I was confused for a second there about that error. Okay. I'll just clean this up a little bit here. Oh, actually, yeah, we don't need this here because we want to add up and down to the controls that we want to accept here. And then yeah, and then we can not break here, and that'll make sure all of them are cleared if they're set. And it'll prioritize the last one. That's actually kind of a nice little pattern there. I'm still kind of figuring out this imperative style of UI programming. It's kind of a fun challenge. And yeah, I don't think I have to handle clearing controls anywhere else because I think they're cleared. Let's see if this works. So we should be able to, yep, so we can move that and we can move the selection box and then we should be able to hit escape. We can scroll, and it should scroll. Yep, we can scroll. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to actually populate and update the state that these widgets are being drawn from using our interaction. So I've got places for that set up here. Yeah, so this would be like the back buttons and stuff to do. Okay. So what we want to do here is we want to grab the selected item out of the list and stick it in the selected item of our list. So I'm actually going to break this out into a little function here. Actually, we'll call this yeah, okay, so there's going to be a better place for that eventually. I don't want to define this on the fly, but just for now. So this will be update. We'll do this squadron first because that's going to be the trickiest one. So actually, yeah. Actually, we will actually define this outside now. So oops, wrong module. Okay, so this will be update squadron, and I think the only thing we really need here is this, because I think everything else should be in should be in state in here. So like update squadron with selected item from ship's modal. So the squadron that's selected is going to be sim.widget updating. So we'll do an if on that here in just a second. So first we get the ship name. It's going to be sim.ships yeah, is a selection list, and sometimes you have to add these things to get it to pick up on. What? Oh, no, that's not right. Okay, that's why it's having trouble. It's just guessing. Sim.ships. Ship. Oh, come on. Self.ships. Oh, there isn't a ships. What is it? Okay. Okay, this is okay. This is a little awkward, but So dot index cell, and we're going to index into sim.ship names with this. Okay, and then so if sim.widget updating is the first squadron, otherwise if it's the second squadron, so the first squadron, we're going to take sim.f1. See what that's the list. So we want this items, sim.f1 squadron items. Oh, and then we got to get the selected index of that. So actually, let's just break this out so it's a little bit easier. So the index of the ship is this. And then the index of the squadron is sim.f1 squadron dot excel squadron equals ship name, and what we actually, so I'm doing this pretty display here, and I want to do that somewhere else. I'm just gonna make a note of that here. Oh, actually, oh no, I think I'm already doing it because that is just a base thing for if it's empty. So I think I don't need to worry about that, and I think F1. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's actually going to be in the config, not in the list directly. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So F1 one ship names. Because that's our little update function, and this should be the same. Should be initialized to the right size. Yep, okay. So F1 sim.config. That's right. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I think this should let us update our squadron with... Okay. Maybe we need to redraw. So, UI share dot... Oh, and we need to call our update widgets. Oh, actually, I might not... I'm not even calling this anywhere. Okay. So... And I think we need, yeah, we need to do our update widgets is only being called here. So we know we want to update widgets if we actually update something. So update widgets. And yeah, so now this will be our lambda here for the ships is going to be update squadron. Yeah. There we go. Yep. Now let's see if we can add one down here. Let's add a big ship. Yeah, look at that. Sweet. Awesome. Man, I've been chipping away at this for a long time. And it's feels good to see it actually working. And of course, there's going to be some additional logic here to make sure that we're doing stuff that makes sense. But it feels good just to see it. Okay, cool. Let's that was the hardest one, so let's get the other update functions built, and then we'll call it good. I need to eat supper. Okay, so now the question is can I do something generic? Because all the rest are just strings. I don't think I want to do anything generic. I think I just want to write it out first and then look for abstractions that I can deal with later. So faction is going to be kind of similar. There's two different faction things to select. So the index of the faction, sim, const, actions, select, and faction name, dot faction. Oh. GC dot factions, and I think, you know, we can think about different ways to do this. I'm going back to the source here, so we can do pretty printing or whatever in the UI, but you know, when you do this, there's a chance that things can be out of sync. So you've got to be careful with that kind of stuff. But sorry, set text, and I think I think this is okay for now. Yeah, because I'm not actually modifying that directly. Oh, and that's the same thing here. I don't want to be modifying this directly. I want to be modifying the config. Yikes. Okay, so faction name. Yeah, this is much simpler. Of sim dot const 2 faction sim, yeah, sim dot config f2 faction we want to redraw. Sim. Okay, now the other stuff is going to look really similar to this. So we've got the zone and zone size. So zone select. Actually, let's just get rid of this zone. Zone, and actually we should know here that widget updating equals zone, so we don't even need to do this. We can just say sim.zone equals this, and zone size is going to be similar, so this just becomes really short. Zone and size. Sizes. Okay, now we just need to add these guys in here into our lambdas. So this will be our faction select. Update faction. Update squadron. Update zone and update zone size. Okay, let me. What is this going? Let me just see something here. Do I actually need this sim in handle modal? I think I do. Because we have to set widget updating when we exit. I don't want to repeat myself with this logic, so we can't really separate this out. And all right, let's see if this works. Yep. Oh. Config config zone name. Need to make a pass over this and clean up some of the names of things. Okay, so at this point we have our names of things. You know, everything should be in the config, so we should be able to launch at this point, and construct the state for a game to start here. So I think that's a good stopping point for now. This is kind of where I wanted to get, where we can finally start kind of moving around, editing things in the UI. Everything seems to work. It should remember the state of where things are. Something I'd like to do maybe is have like default squadrons for different factions, just to make it easy. You know, I could set up like a mover squadron and junior branch squadron. That would be distinct ship types and stuff, but we don't need to get too fancy. And then the other thing is I'll eventually put this in a little area of the game and maybe like show some of the ship models like when you're selecting. Actually, one thing let's do, I just want to see how it looks, because I have this, oops, I have this set up to be this thing, and it could just be 0, 0. I want to see how it looks at 0, 0. The other thing we can do is, yeah, it doesn't look good without having something behind it. I'll work on this later. We could have a pop-up. I could also have it like pop up here, but it kind of needs a different colored background if it's going to be over something. So not the prettiest, but it's functional for now, and that's the main thing that matters. Let me see actually if we can get back working. Handle controls. Handle controls simulator. So if we're in default mode and then the flow states. Then I think we actually have to add a back function here to this because we can't import flow here. Some of this stuff kind of deals with some of this messing around is kind of caused by circular imports. So mode, hanger. So, oh shucks, that's not what we want. Yeah, that's a question. How do we get that? Oh, I guess we can pass it through. It's kind of awkward. But I don't know if we have a choice. And we kind of want to have back do something meaningful here, right? So it makes sense to have our back function available here. Oh, and I'm passing it through here, but actually I can just get rid of this here and just call the back function directly. And then in here we can check, so if and we can flatten this out later, but if widget name is const.back, then we can call our back function. So then we just have our launch button. That we might have to pass something in for as well, but let's see if this works. Just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so if I hit, whoops, if I hit back, we're back in the hangar. Don't have a dedicated, actually I think I can, yeah, simulator. And if I, the back, oh, that doesn't work. Oh, okay, I think that's, I just passed the wrong state in. So our back function should be mode hanger. Yeah, so if I hit escape, brings us back to the hangar. Simulator, and if I hit back here, we go back, yeah. So actually, yeah, see, and we'll have our own little area here inside the carrier for the simulator, so that'll be less awkward. But that seems to work. There doesn't really seem to be any funny business there. Okay, well, I think we accomplished what we want to accomplish. The UI seems to be working, so now it's just launching with the config, and I'll show you that config here. It's this, whoops. Oops. This simulator config. So just the name of each faction, a list of names of ships, zone name and zone size. So something could take this and prepare a mission. So the UI is able to construct this completely. We should be good to go as far as generating the actual game state. And if we have to pass that in as another function here, like a launch func or something, that seems okay. We actually just forget what the... Oops. It's tight. Number of things, and this is a callable. Yeah, okay. And we're not using show base here, so we can eventually get rid of that. But let me... Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape here as far as not having too much redundant stuff while having clarity. I mean, I think you can always simplify some of this, but I know that there's going to be additional functionality that we're going to want once we get the simulator kind of in its own room, and might updates that you make to the UI might be triggering other animations, or I'd like the ship viewer to actually show the ship so you can see immediately what you're selecting. You don't have to know the name of it to make a selection. So, and there's some little awkwardnesses here. I need to honestly clean out a lot of this handle control stuff, because it's just, there's too much that's happening in different spots. But too many invariants kind of being things that are invariant being declared in things that are running, but it's okay. Oh, this needs the back func now too, which is not really going to be used. Let's see here, just check. And just want to make sure that this isn't, yeah, it's back func is only called here, so let's just see if this still works with the, so if I say choose this and then I back out of it, it doesn't update it. If I hit enter, it selects, but if I just hit escape, it backs out. All right, everything's looking good. Well, thanks to everybody who tuned in, and I'll be back soon with more 3D mesh processing. I have kind of a sticky, annoying problem that I've had with a lot of my models that I want to fix and do the right way, which is antennas. How they're angled, how they're attached to the model, the coordinate systems that they're described in, all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. I'll be trying to do that stream soon. And if you're interested in 3D mesh processing with Python, if you're interested in my game, make sure to check out the other videos on my channel. I've got a lot of videos, live stream videos at this point, showing some really interesting stuff. And if you're too busy to watch the live streams, I've been making time-lapse videos of my different live streams, and especially certain ones have some pretty visually interesting stuff, so those time lapses are kind of fun to watch. See some code being written really fast, and meshes and effects and different things appearing. So it compresses that hour or 2 hours down to just a little 2-minute video. But thanks for tuning in. Hope everybody has a good evening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.